In today's episode, we talk about how to translate the power from one stroke until the next. Don't lose any of that momentum that you've worked so hard to gain with each stroke. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Between the Laps. I am your host, Coach Chris. If you don't know who I am a swim coach of over 20 years. I've been swimming competitively for 20 years prior to that, and then taken that swimming and worked with swimmers of a variety of skill sets, all the way from the young six and unders all the way through adults learning how to swim for the first time. I've coached Olympians, I've coached everything in between. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about how to translate that power you have during your stroke, during the pull phase of your freestyle. One of the greatest things that you can do when you're grabbing that water, we've talked about this before, when you're grabbing that water, you're grabbing and you're pulling that water all the way back. And this is where it gets tricky. So many swimmers tend to release and send that water back behind them, all the way back to the end of the pool, somewhere way off in the distance. What this does is it takes away from the power that you've now generated. You won't necessarily lose momentum. It'll just make it so that that next stroke, you have to work that much harder in order to pull. So if you want to reduce the amount of effort that you have to put into that next stroke, you want to think about recovering with an elbow first approach. This then translates the power from one stroke into the next. And what do I mean by that? So what we're talking about here is we take our pull, we grab the water with our high elbow, we're pulling using the big muscle groups back here. We grab, we're pulling. And then as you recover, you come right just past the hips and see I'm leading with my elbow. I'm not flicking the water out behind me. I'm leading with my elbow. I come in, I pull, and I lead with that elbow. I start that recovery. This translates the power from one stroke to the next. You're not just pushing it away. You're using that momentum to come into that next stroke, into that next powerful pull. So how can we practice this in the water? Well, there's a lot of different techniques. We could do things like the shark drill. And for the shark drill, you're going to have one arm out in front of you, and you're going to hold your kick, your pull, and your recovery, just like so. Going to have your head down, okay? Head down, rotated body, and you're going to create a dorsal fin. You're going to create that shark fin that's sitting up in the water. Hold that for a certain count. You're going to kick in your legs, and you'd pull to the other side and hold that count. Again, you're thinking about recovering the pull and come up and wait for that next pull. All right, this is going to take a little bit away from the overall power translation, but it's the idea of leading that recovery with the elbow rather than the hand. And that is where the mistake is. When you lead with the hand, you're losing that power. You can practice this in front of a mirror. Obviously, between the laps, we're always looking for ways to help you build swimming outside of the pool because we don't always have access to water. Sometimes we just need to be able to practice in front of a mirror or in front of a phone. You could do what we're doing. You could take a video of yourself, put on the front-facing camera, and you pull and watch yourself in the mirror or in the video. Watch for that pushback, okay? This is another thing. You can actually feel this in the water, though. If you feel like you're just kind of flicking your hand too far back, if you feel like you're pulling way past your hips, or you're entering flat, maybe your recovery is flat, maybe you have just a straight arm recovery, and that is causing pain into your shoulders and other various parts of your stroke just feel awkward. Maybe you feel like you're having to really grab the water every single time you make your catch, and you're losing that momentum of speed. All of these small little tweaks that you need to be aware of when you swim could mean that you're not translating that power back here. This is very similar to other strokes. There's other strokes that when we're pushing and pulling, when we come into our recovery on backstroke, same idea. You want to push that water, but you don't want to push it all the way down past your toes to the other side of the pool. You want to push and accelerate up. This is why we try to teach swimmers not to have that pause right at your hips. Especially in backstroke, there's a tendency to really go, you take it, your stroke, and you pause before you take that next pull. It's almost like you're waiting. Same idea, you're losing that momentum. You're going to make it so that that next pull has to be that much tighter and that much stronger in order to keep that momentum going. But if you keep that rotation, keep that motion going, you're not going to lose that momentum. If you really enjoyed the video today, I encourage you to please sign up for one of our video analysis courses where we're going to offer one-on-one coaching. You can email me or message me in the comments and I'll reach out to you directly. How we can set that up. We offer one-on-one unlimited stroke analysis. As well, we recently launched our latest Ultimate Guide to Freestyle book. It is available on Amazon, and I'd really appreciate you checking it out. Until next time, keep swimming,